Hey, everybody, OGG, Overt Go Green. How's it going? I'm doing good, and I hope you are too. We're getting right into the arena today. It's been a hot minute, but we're back, and we are going to do a sealed Dominaria United. Dominaria United just came out today, brand new set. Sealed is a format, in case you don't know. You get 6 packs. You play, you get either 7 wins or 3 losses. It's 2,000 gems. In case you don't know, about $1. 200 gems equates roughly to $1 if you pay for gems. That's what it equates to. So this is effectively a little $10 tournament. And we'll talk about, where we end up if we make our $10 worth back, or and then there'll be videos in the future where I explain how you can be free to play like me and still have 6 draft tokens, loads of wilds, 100,000 gold, and 10,000 gems, and I've spent no money in this game. So I'll go over that in a future series of videos. That's gonna have to be a series of videos. But let's get into this. This is part 1 of 2. Part 1 is going to be me entering this tournament and explaining how I'm going to build my deck. One of the things I noticed that they do here, which is cool, is they tell you what the archetypes are for the color combos, right? You don't have to play 2 colors. You can play 1 color or 3 or 5 or whatever, but they're giving you a good idea. And if you've never played a sealed event, this is a really cool idea that they do. I really like that they did that. So let's get in here for 2,000 gems, see what our 6 packs look like, and we'll go from there. Right? It's going to show me all my rares, right? 2 Yavi Maya Coast is interesting. A card I like for the collection, not necessarily a card I would have hoped to get here. A green-blue card, Ivy the Gleeful Spell Thief, a 2/1 flying for 2. Might see the deck, who knows? Defiler of Vigor is very, very, very good. And I think that might make the deck depending on the other green cards. I would consider this a bomb. Astor of Bearer of Blades. It is interesting that it combos well with Weatherlight completed. But I'm not sure. It does give Weatherlight completed crew 1 when it doesn't have a crew cost, which is interesting, but not that interesting. We'll see. We'll see what we do. I'm really weird that I got 2 Yavi Maya Coast in this, but let's take a look. So now it's going to show all the cards, right? And there's different ways to display this. I would much rather have this displayed. There's a different way to display this, and I don't know what it is. Well, let's look at... I don't want to look at colors. I wanted to look at a different... I thought there was a different whole version. I guess I can add them all to the deck. That's one way to do it. That's probably what we'll do here. And we'll just go from here then. It's doing it by casting cost, but I can absolutely sort them by color. But this will give me a good idea of where I'm at casting cost-wise. As I cross things off, or whatever the case is. Holy moly. Look at all these cards. Clicking so fast, there's not even names. Alright. So now let's see what we got here. So, right at the beginning, I mentioned that Defiler of Vigor I felt was a bomb. So we definitely want to take a look and see if green is viable. Also, we got in the land, we got 2 Yavi Maya Coast, which really kind of stabilizes us in green-blue. So let's look at our green-blue first, and we'll go from there. We might go somewhere else. You never know. Shore Up. Instant, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof till end of turn. Untap it. Cute. Timely Interference. It's a kicker spell with red. We're not really looking at red right now. So, you know, we'll skip it for now. Llanowar Stalker is a 1 for a 1/1. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield, it gets +1/+0. This would be great with tokens. Not sure it's great with blue-green. Coral Colony. Defender. Mill, depending on how many creatures with Defender I have. Man, I can almost guarantee this doesn't make the cut, but just for giggles, let's search what I have for Defender here. I would have to play 3 color, and I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's if they all lived without getting removed or dying to anything. That just doesn't seem good enough. Essence Scatter I really like, because people in this format play creatures, obviously. Impulse, I like card selection. I mean, Protect the Negotiators is a kicker spell. I'm not sure I'm playing white, so this would just be white 1 for a counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each creature I control. I mean, maybe. We'll see how many creatures I end up playing. In green down here, we got Bite Down. That's a fantastic piece of removal. Floriferous Vine Wall gets me a land. You know, is an 0/2 defender. Neshoba Brawler has Trample. Number of the basic land types I control, so possibly with Domain. This might make the deck. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Vine Shaper Prodigy. So this is a kicker spell with blue. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand. This would probably make the deck if we end up in green, blue. Yevimaya Iconoclast is kicker with red. There might be a potential to splash a 3rd color as red. Maybe Protect the Negotiators combo kicker to white. Maybe, maybe not. Balmor, the Battle Mage Captain. This is really, if you know, more of a build around card. I'm not 100% sold on this guy. Ivy, the Gleeful Spell Thief, I think is incredible. It's really good with combat tricks. It's really bad because she just gets removed instantly, but it's a 2/1 flyer for 2. So this is interesting. An artifact, Salvage Mana Worker, filters your mana, activate only once each turn. More of an oh crap card. So it could turn in. This could turn into a Phyrexian creature. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a Phyresis counter on Weatherlight completed, then draw a card. If it doesn't scry once, whenever a creature dies, I scry 1. And if it ever gets 4 or more counters, if 4 or more of my creatures die, it's a 5/5 flyer. That could be very helpful. Could be very helpful. We'll see. Let's see what we got in blue at 3. Soaring Drakes, 2/3 flyer for 3. I like that. Another kicker spell in white. That might be a pass. Bog Badger. Kickers in black. However, creatures I control gaining menace until end of turn seems like a game winner. So, who knows? Hexbane Tortoise. Enlist. The way Enlist works, I can tap a non-attacking creature I control. It has to have no summoning sickness, and I can add its creature. I can add its power to this creature's power. Problem is, it's a ward. I mean, ward 2 is nice, but it's a 3/2. It only has 2 toughness. Scout the Wilderness is kicker white. Probably pass on it, unless I'm in white green. The Weather Seed Treaty is a little bit of ramp. Makes a 1/1. And then Domain, and it's mana fixing, because I can get any basic land. Target creature you control gets +S/+X and gains trample at the end of turn, where X is the number of, so like +2/+2 maybe, you know, and trample could be nice. I don't know, not 100% sold on that. Black green is Erg, spawn of Turg. You know, it. I don't know. I haven't seen much black here that I'm really 100% sold on. Queen Alala of Rudak. This is really good if I do go green white, go wide with tokens. Green blue I have. So land creatures you control have flying. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, if I control 7 or more land, up to 1 target land becomes a 3/3 elemental creature token with haste. This card's stupid. This card's stupid good. This seems like an absolute crazy bomb. Because if I'm flooding out with land late game, I'm just making 3/3 flyers with haste. Yeah. Yeah, it seems... Okay, that seems good. All right, so let's keep going here. Micromancer. Search my library for an instant or sorcery card with mana value 1. Certainly not going to come up. Tidepool Turtle. Get out of here. Probably not going to come up. It doesn't let me filter my deck, though. Talus Lookout. I love the flyers. And it possibly draws me a card. That seems very good. That seems very good. Barkweave Crusher is a 2/5 with Enlist. So I like this guy with Enlist much better because he has 5 toughness. So, at least he doesn't die to just anything. Elfheim Worm, 5 for a 5/4 Vigilant Trample is fantastic. Defiler of Vigor, fantastic. Joda, his Codex, his draw card, over and over and over. That could be really, really good. At the really high end of the mana curve here at 7, we got Tolarian Terror, which is a 5/5 Ward 2. We got Mossbeard Ancient, which is 7 mana for a 7/7 Trample, gain 5 life. And we got Yavimaya Sojourner, which is 8 mana, cost 1 less for each basic land type among the lands I control. So he's probably 6 mana for a 4/6. He's probably not good enough. In red, this guy seems pretty strong. Olton Monstrosity, Maria's Outsider, does a little damage. We don't have any red here. We barely have any red. I don't see any red amazing removal. Yeah, so we're going to get rid of... We're going to dump red here for sure, because I'm just not seeing any good enough removal. So outside of the fact I feel like I don't have a card that says you win in red, except for maybe this guy. This guy's good. This guy's, I think, is legit good in sealed and draft. I could be wrong about that, though. We're going to dump all of our red. And spells that have kicker red also probably don't fit. So let's see. Well, let's see what I see. I have a couple things in. And with kicker white. So let's see what I got in white. Clockwork Drawbridge is actually pretty gross. White 2 to tap a creature could be pretty strong. Artillery Blast in white. That I don't like. I don't like this guy that much. Destroy Evil I actually really like. I don't really like Samite Herbalist. I think this is one of the better combat tricks. In black, Blight Pile. Okay, so I could go the 7 defender creature route. I would need, my critical mass for defenders would have to be 11 to go that route. This is more of a draft. If you're going to build around a draft, if you get, in pack 1, you can get, 2 or 3 of these guys, and you just want to draft around it. Maybe that's possible. Knight of Dusk Shadow. This guy's good. Tribute to Urborg. It's a blue kicker. It's removal. Iconoclast has a red kicker. I don't think Iconoclast is going to be 2 mana for a 3/2 trample, though. He might be good enough even if I can't make red. Aggressive Sabotage just damages the player. Another Defender card. This is one of the better pieces of removal in the whole set. I'm like, you have to assume that if anyone playing it black, they're playing this. That's not a bad card either, but that's really all I have in black. So we're going to sideline black. I sidelined red already, so I'm going to sideline Astor. So that leaves white as a possibility. Argivian Phalanx is... that'll be a cheap card if you were going aggro for a 4/4 Vigilance, like a lot of cheap creatures or tokens. Captain's Call makes a lot of tokens. Griffin Protector. Only one other creature, huh? That's a bummer. Cavalier, create a token. They get +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a stun counter on each of them and draw a card for 5 mana, though. You know, I would hate to have that cut down. I think cut down is another spell you have to be very aware of. Like, there's a real chance people are playing cut down if they're playing black. I think blue-green is the way to go here, though. I really like this. This really enables tokens right here, though. It really does. But I am going to cut out white here. Let's see how many cards I have left here once I cut out white. So I got to get down, definitely. So Crystal Grotto, scries 1, adds a blank, filters a mana of a color. Enters the battlefield tapped, could make a red or a green. I don't need the black. I don't need a red-black for sure. I don't need white-black for sure. And we'll work on this here in a second. Because of the spells with kicker, it's hard to say what we're going to need right now. So let's look here. With all the removal in this set, I think Shore Up might be actually really, really good. Like, really good. Coral Colony is gone because we're not playing that Defender route. This is kicked white, but we don't have a green-white duel. I'm not sure about this. We'll get back to that. So cards that for sure are going to stay. I think we leave both Barkweed. Well, okay. Up here, I think we take out one Tolarian Terror, and maybe we end up taking out both. Micromancer, I don't think can get it done. It does find me Shore Up. I don't think I'm going to play Timely Interference. And I don't think I'm going to play Llanowar Stalker. So Micromancer does get me a Timely Interference out of my deck, which could be kind of cool. That's the only thing I could find is Shore Up, but it could be cool. Tidepool Turtle, it does filter my deck with all, if the game stalls. But let's look here. I think Coral Colony, no way it can make the cut. It has Defender. Wait a second. Did I get rid of the wrong blue card? Oh, I had 2 Coral Colonies. Yeah, okay. Impulse, Protect the Negotiators, Kicker White. So I don't have a green-white duel. Or, I mean, this can get me anything, right? So Crystal Grotto fixes. But that's not great. Bite Down is removal. That has to stay. I don't think Vine Wall makes the cut. Neshoba Brawler. is equal to the number of basic land types. So basic land types, it has to, like, this is a basic land island. So here we have a land swamp forest. That is not a basic land type, right? Because it doesn't say basic land, it says land. So at least I believe that's the case here. But he is a star. I mean, he's always going to be at least a 1/3 trample, probably a 2/3 trample for 2. He might stay. Vine Shaper Prodigy certainly stays because we very likely can kick him, and he's a 2/2 for 2 with an upside. Iconoclast, we do have a red source, like as a backup, and in the form of Crystal Grotto, so maybe he can stay. But I also like a 3/2 trample for 2, right? I really am not sure about this. I think it's funny that I can cast Shore Up on something else and it shores up Ivy, but not 100% sure on that. So we'll leave the Weatherlight. We're going to get rid of Salvaged Mana Worker. Soaring Drake's a keep because he's a flyer. So this kicks, bounces a guy, I draw a card. If it's kicked for a white, I gain 3 life. I think that stays because of Crystal Grotto, and I have potential to get it. Nope, that can't stay. Aggressive Sabotage has to go. Let's make sure I didn't take out anything I wanted. Nope. Okay, good. And green. Nope. Okay, so far so good. I took out what I wanted to take out. Bog Badger, 3/3 for 3. Potential kicker in black, which I have in Haunted Mire. And wins me the game. I feel like if my creatures go wide. I really do not like this card. I really do not like this card, so we'll see about him. Scout the Wilderness is ramp, and I'm playing a lot of big creatures. I don't know if I need 2 of them. This also makes sure I can ramp and get a dude. I like just this better than Scout the Wilderness. So we'll just dump both Scout the Wilderness, and we'll keep the Weatherseed Treaty. I like this much, much better. No, Queen Ellen Hall can go. This is ridiculous. Tatiova is unbelievable. This guy's flyer, that if it dies, I get to look at 2 and draw 1 for 4. Yeah, fabulous. Not sure about Barkweave Crusher here. Not sure at all about Barkweave Crusher. Elfhame Worm is ridiculous and has to stay. Defiler of Vigor is great, has to stay. I actually think Joda's Codex stays as a reoccurring draw engine. Like late game, it lets me just draw through my deck. Tolarian Terror. Man, this is just not going to get it done. All right, Tolarian Terror is gone. It's just too much. Too expensive. So, I think... So these guys can get kind of big. Then I can throw a humongous Hexbane Tortoise at my opponent and make them possibly block. Problem is he doesn't have trample. Right? One of the other things you can do is you can get Bite Down's power really high. Like you can enlist and then use Bite Down. And his power will be really high. I think Yavimaya Sojourner isn't good enough. 4/6, I'll probably have 3 land out. So 5 mana for a 4/6. Yeah, I don't think he's good enough. Impulse is probably better than Shore Up, but I'm going to drop Impulse. Since we have so many 2 and 3 drop creatures, I feel like late game, like potentially like they go to tap out and I'm like, oh no, I have 3 creatures and you can only pay 2 more. Like, this could actually be a legit counterspell. Along with Essence Scatter, which I think is good. I wish this was an instant, and it's not. Alright, so let's get 3 mana to draw a card and bounce a guy, though. Man, I wish that was an instant. So let's drop Tolarian Geyser. I hope this is the right call here. We're going to drop Tolarian Geyser. We're going to drop Barkweave. 1 Barkweave Crusher. We're going to... I actually really like Weatherlight Completed because I feel like this is another card where if it sits out on the battlefield for a long, long time, eventually creatures are going to die. And it's just going to get better and better. Man, I am not sure about Ivy. This card just seems really bad. But, I mean, like, they cast a removal spell on something else that copies. I copy it. I may copy it, so I don't have to copy it. So, that's a lot of 2-drops, though. So I got a red and a black kicker somewhere in the deck. Man, I don't know about Tidepool Turtle, but he does scry me if I need to. Like, if I have nothing to do with my mana, scrying is fabulous. This just wins me the game. Like I said, I feel like this wins me the game. I think out of all these cards... Wait, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I do have big creatures here. Like, I have 3 5-drops, a 7-drop, bunch of 4-drops. Man, so this is where it gets hard, right? You gotta cut. I'm not gonna cut a flyer. I'm not gonna cut a guy with trample, or vigilance for that matter. Micromancer does get me this. But then it's revealed and they can play around it. Nashoba Brawler could be nice. He's probably a 3/3 trample. But if I had to cut a 2-drop, I'd probably cut Nashoba Brawl. Man. I think I cut a Hex. I like a 3/2 for 3. I think I'm going to cut this Barkweave Crusher. And... Good lord, is this a hard choice. 7 for a 7/7 trample when he enters the battlefield, I gain 5 life? Man, I think he has to stay. Unless I just get mowed over. Man. 5 for a 6/6 trample. Ridiculous. The one guy, this guy makes the lands into flyers. This guy is great. 3/2 for 3. Draws me a card. Alright, so let's get rid of the Protect the Negotiators. And then we'll get rid of one more card. And I think that card is going to be a Hexbane Tortoise, because I have a 3/2 here for 2. And this guy's a 3/2 for 3. So let's try this. We'll go 17 land because I do think we need this land. So just to go over what I cut. Oh, let's change our card back. Let's see if is there any new card backs for Dominaria? I'm sure there is. Oh, they're all locked. Let's put something cool here. Not the Toad. Yeah, this is like Planeswalker Central here. Right? This is like a Planeswalker set. Well, we can go with that. We'll confirm that. We got the little Goblin. And since we're going green-white, oh man, my main man at Johnny.
Your coalition is a mere parody of Phyrexian unity.
Oh. Is Johnny completed? Even worse, they changed him. Oh, poor.
If they turned a
Jaya.
Johnny, they could turn.
Gale? No. All right, Johnny it is.
With Phyrexian rule, the multiverse will finally know peace.
All right, so. And we're going to slap Defiler of Vigor on the front of this bad boy. Because that's the best card in the deck. All right, so I think this is where the deck is at. If I would say if I had no 5-drops or a 7-drop, I might play 16 land. If I could get super aggro, just the red and black cards weren't good enough. Just to review what I cut in red, literally, like this is a piece of instant removal, but there is not much else in here where it says like deal X damage, like no lightning strike, really anything there. And then in black, cut down is good. That's a nice piece of removal. And then tribute to Urborg could be a decent piece of removal. And then extinguish the light is fantastic. But once again, I just don't see it, right? Like when you look at the black creatures, they top out at 4. Like you can look at the gold cards I cut, right? And just kind of see what those are. Belmore, like I said, Belmore doesn't really fit this deck. I mean, he's more of a draft card. Queen Alal of Rudok, this could have been the other deck, right? The other version I felt could have been green-white, and it's green-white go wide. But man, oh man, does Tatiova just seem to just instantly win the game if the game goes long, right? Like, whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, make a 3/3 flyer. Ridiculous. Seems ridiculous. 3/3 with haste. So yeah, that just seems so good. Like that can just run away with the game. So I think I'm playing a little, like I'm almost like fainting that I'm aggro-ish. And then like as the game goes kind of long, it's like, oh, this is my main card draw engine. We'll see how this works. We'll see how Joda's Codex works. I have high hopes for this card, but maybe it should have been cut. Anyway, down below in the comments, let me know what you think, right? Before I get the gameplay matches out, let me know what you think. How am I going to do, right? If I'm done here, I click done. Waiting for the server. Everyone's on right now, making their decks. So there's my sealed deck, right? How do you think I'm going to do? Am I going to get 0 wins? Am I going to go 0-3? Can I get to 7 and something, right? Here you're breaking even on gems, 6 wins. So that would be great. But to really break even on the amount of gems I spent, so each pack, as you can see here, if we go to the store, and like I said, it cost me 2,000 gems to do this. So if you go to the store here, if it loads, there we go. If you go to the store here and check out the Ajani face that just gets angry. If you go to the store here and look at packs, you can see that, well, we don't care about mythic packs. By the way, don't buy mythic packs. Stop buying mythic packs. 200 gems gets you a pack. So we paid 2,000, right, gems. We got 6 packs for just entering the event, right? We got 6 packs for entering, so you get to keep the cards. So that's already 1,200 gems. So at 800 gems, well, plus you get 3 packs for just playing. So another 3 packs, that's another 600 gems worth, right? And 6 packs for 12 plus 6, 18. So you're almost breaking even on gems just by playing, right? Like for the general reward. But really where you want to get to is right here, this jump. You want to get to 3 wins, right? 0, 1, or 2. So having a losing record, 2 and 3. You have to go 3 and 2, right? You have to get to 3 and 2. So you have to have 3 wins before you get to 2 losses. You get 1,200 gems in 3 packs. At that point, you can consider yourself having a good sealed. You had 3, 4, or 5 wins. At 6 or 7 wins, you're great, right? You get your gems back, and you got a bunch of free cards. Right, at 6 or 7 wins, you're gold. You're golden. All right. So for value wise, 0, 1, or 2 is disappointing. 3, 4, 5, you're happy with you should be happy, right? You're getting your value out of your 2,000 gem risk. And at 6 or 7 wins, you're literally playing for free, right? They're giving you free packs if you can go 6 and 2, because you can't go, like, you have to get to 6 wins before you get your 3rd loss. So really, when you're here, at worst, you're 6 and 2, right? So when you get here, so hopefully you can do that. 6 and 2 is not easy. 3 and 2 is a little more doable. In 5 games, it is best of 1, but everyone should be shooting for this. Even if you're new, you should be shooting for this. We went green blue. I'm curious what they say about green blue. Green blue kicker ramp. It's funny. I did play some kicker cards, but I didn't play a lot of ramp spells. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it goes for us. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, tune in for part 2 to see how Sealed Dominaria United goes. Like I said, this is day 1 of the launch. This is OGG. Whoops, everybody. I almost forgot to say, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. Otherwise, this is OGG. Out.